Finally. Hello, my Plaid personalities, and it is the day that the computer does not crash and I can record stuff. I can make videos now. And it's been so long. I've always wanted to start something just for the sake of the channel, to keep it going, because reviews aren't going to be everything. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I know it's been a while, and I've kind of taken my time on everything. Right now, I'm in the midst of making a review for Runbow, but I thought I'd take a break and finally test this out, because I found a way to fix it, to use my Elgato, because I actually earned it from this recording around 3 months ago. And just gonna say it wasn't working for me. I was really pumped to get it, and then it just wouldn't work. I tried using everything, but a few minutes in, it would always crash my computer. And then I realized that I had to use a different software, because apparently the software that the company, the Elgato, makes for is pretty much trash, and OBS is the best way to go. But yeah, that's basically what's been going on with me. Right now I'm also trying to record stuff later for, once I can, for Runbow, because after all this time I've been trying to use clips off of the internet, and now it's even more convenient because I can actually record what I want. So no more of that. No more like this came from this, because it's all coming from me from this point on, and I just can't wait. In the future, I'll also be doing some videos with friends, and although it might not be that long, because I'm going to college pretty soon. I'm a senior in high school, and making videos has never been harder at this point. I've always been worried about something, whether it be work, school, working during school, something along those lines. But yeah, right now I decided to start on Has Been Heroes, because the very first game I reviewed on this channel, I only thought it was proper to start the game with a review, or the first game that I reviewed on this channel. So first Let's Play, first review. So yeah, Plaid Plays. I don't know where I'm going to move on from this, but I know for Plaid Plays I never wanted things to be permanent. I didn't want to have a permanent series. Maybe I'll have one going on at a time, but I always want a consistent flow of videos and random video games. And as you can see right here, I've got a little bit of a collection. I have always tried to build up indie games over time, if they're going on sale and stuff, and a lot of them have been really good. And it's also really hard to choose a game to review. Sometimes I get requests, but it's not always that simple, because yeah, it's cool that people recognize content and stuff like that, but at the same time I gotta make my choices as to what I review, because doing this all takes time, and for now I just want to do what I enjoy. And honestly, for someone who just reviews stuff, I haven't had the chance to really be open. Of course I'm open about my opinions on video games, but I haven't been able to like talk as my real self And I'm not saying that like this is going to be that exactly, because I mean, I'm not just going to like vent every single Plaid plays, but this is my first video. Well, plus I'm kind of alone. I'm expecting, if we're going to do a Plaid plays, then I'm usually going to have friends along, because one person commentating is, or being just the sole commentary is pretty tough. Especially since you have to constantly think of topics. And it's also been a while since I've actually just done this. I used to have a YouTube channel called Leland Variety. I can't open the chest. And I made a lot of Let's Play videos on there, but commentary was always the hardest part. I'd just be playing games and it'd kind of be boring for the most part. Which is why it's fun to have friends around, because, you know, with friends, you never run out of things to talk about. You're always agging on each other and just having fun. Let's see. Freezing blood, 10 melee damage, freeze all enemies in a lane. Oh, that's pretty good. Maxi stamina. I might get, since he has the least health, him the stamina. I always had a hard time saying that, especially like during the review. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but I kind of struggled a lot saying that in the review. I don't look back on it a lot, to be perfectly honest, because it was my first video. I don't hate it. Unlike most, I mean, I do cringe a little, but I feel like I've gotten to the point where I feel like my videos are quality enough for me to not hate it, but sort of still kind of look at it like, I could have done better. But yeah, Has Been Heroes. Still a fun game, but also extremely unbalanced. It's always kind of been the... Yeah, I'll play it every once in a while, because considering it's a roguelike, it's kind of hard to get into, especially if you're constantly dying, because then you have to go all the way back to the beginning, and it's a very roguelikes are already very acquired tastes, because I don't know many people that like permadeaths, but Has Been Heroes like can really screw you over sometimes, especially with its difficulty, and sometimes not enough money. I'm not sure if I'll be able to return to that, but especially since a lot of things are randomized, I feel like in most roguelikes you can find a situation to get out of, or you're in control of your own situation. This, I feel like there are some points where you just can't win, which is why this is a pretty disliked game. Again, I like it, but that's just my own personal views on it. And I accidentally froze him. Great. But yeah, if you guys have any game suggestions that you saw, or something you want to see me play, something you want to see me review, feel free to just like tell me. Or if you have suggest something on the eShop, I'd be glad to check that out. Although I'm not made out of money, I am trying to save for college, so there's that. This definitely isn't going to be one of my best videos, but it's better than no content like you guys have been getting for the past, I don't know how long it's been. It's been longer than a half a year at this point, I'm pretty sure. Well, the last time I put out a review was about a year ago, but in June I decided to react to E3. The quality was pretty terrible because the internet was bad, but I still got it up and still kind of look at it from time to time like, did I really react that way to Breath of the Wild? I mean, I am really excited for the sequel. I'm going to be perfectly honest, and I might do a review on that for the sake of it. Although I don't do reviews on first-party games a whole lot, like I've said, it's because it's pretty. The reason why is because it's pretty mainstream and everyone's already covering these games. What about these smaller indie developers? You know, they don't get enough attention. Why don't we talk about them and their games? Because there's still plenty of good games out there. And I can never get everything done that I want either, because there's always school, or I'm always procrastinating in school, and therefore in the end I procrastinate on YouTube. Because I gotta get one of those things done. Also, if you guys want me to sometime do a stream, I'll probably be doing that a lot during the summer since I probably won't have a lot to do. It really depends on surprised I didn't hurt myself there. It really depends on how much I'll be working. And I'll probably be working a lot in the final stretch to pull everything I can, because college isn't cheap, and also the changes are going to be pretty hard because I'll be going to a completely different environment, making new friends, and it isn't exactly going to be easy physically or mentally. But hopefully finding friends just makes it a whole lot easier. Not saying that I'm not going to miss my old friends, because I definitely will. Or maybe I'll just go to a college nearby. Who knows? But the one I'm going to is actually pretty far away from home, so you could say it doesn't hit too close to home. But there are always options open. It's never too late. Get them, Tigers. I remember the first time I played this around, like, this was like the hardest boss ever, and then once you find out the pattern, it just gets easier. And I don't know if the game supposedly is supposed to get easier to once you get to a certain point. But at the same time, I could be wrong. I could test that by just going into a new file and seeing if it's any easier or not, based off of what I know about the game. But it's pretty hard to tell these days. I'm probably going to lose stamina if I'm not careful, and I'm going to need that later on, unless I can find some sort of healing hut. Let's just throw that there. Boom. Whee. Usually, before I go into another map, you gotta think out your routes because of the candles, since you can only go back a certain amount of times if you have a certain amount of candles. So I want to hit as many places as I can so I can gather as much gold as possible in items, because you'll definitely need it later. So you shouldn't be trying to avoid battles. You should actually be going towards them. But you should also consider places you should shop, and which would be a better place, the shop or a battle, because you might need the money later, but then again, you might find some really good items, and since they're all question marks, you can't always tell what is what, so you gotta make your choices carefully. I think I'm starting to see ideal route, so if I went that way, it's a pretty slow game. I'm not one to be into RPGs, but I just saw this at, like I explained before, I saw this at the Switch and Play conference, and I was like, well, if it's good enough for Nintendo, it's good enough for me. But with that excuse, I should probably be playing Fire Emblem by now. But I legitimately enjoyed it, which I'm glad I did, because there weren't a whole lot of good reviews on the internet, like, which I checked afterwards, right after I bought it. Because I was like, hey, I saw this on this, and this. If Nintendo was looking at it and thinking, yeah, this is good, then maybe it is a good game after all. And they were playing it again on Switch and Play, and I was like, okay, well, it's probably pretty decent if Nintendo is willing enough to have it on like live stream or something like that. But turns out not a whole lot of people were on the bandwagon, or really liked it, and I was kind of nervous, but when I started playing, I didn't worry a whole lot. There was a point in time where I just stopped playing it. I like beat my first round, and I was like, okay, well, that's enough for a long while. And then when at a point when I didn't have a job, I was like, okay, well, I gotta play something, and that came up again, and I was like, I guess I'll play it some more, and ended up having a lot more fun. You just gotta stick with the game because it's very slow paced, and at the same time that can be a very good thing because it's a great stress reliever. If I were playing Smash right now, there'd probably be a lot of screaming involved. Like, I'm gonna be perfectly honest, but so far I've been pretty calm throughout this entire episode, and I've been able to get through this with ease. But at the same time, you probably, if you're going to play this through the first time through, you probably aren't going to get it the first time through. You just got to stick with it, and eventually you'll unlock a treasure trove of like content, and it's just an amazing game. It's really underrated, but at the same time, it can't be for everyone. It's definitely different. Immunity to lightning. Who would be good for that? Like, Mr. Lightning Man already has plenty of lightning going on, but I don't think he's immune. I don't think I've given her anything yet, or not a whole lot. Anyways, so I'll just give it to her. Or the rogue, as they like to call it. And I don't have any more keys. Great. But at least I have plenty of money, so if I find a store, I won't have to worry about that too much. I hate these supporter monsters. They always kind of speed everything up, and it just kind of stresses me out. It's like, oh, I guess you didn't think I had enough anxiety already, huh? I'm not even sure if the spell's gonna make it in time. There we go. Locksmith. Just looks like a shop. What have we got? Nothing worth looking at. I think I need to make use of this bomb a little more. There we go. And they're still coming. I think we're gonna lose a little bit of stamina pretty soon, if I'm not careful. There we go. Everything's fine.
Skin again and kissed him and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, that snake gave her a vicious bite.
And with that, it's one final blow. Hey. Let's get into the stamina camping call today. Alright. Well, guys, this has been a great first video, I guess. Well, not really, but it's been fun testing stuff. Just ask or just make suggestions if you want me to change anything. If you want face cam, I'm not sure if I'll do that for every video, but we'll see. We'll see what it's like. Thank you for watching, and have a great day, guys.